Hello friends, welcome to Programming Concepts. My name is Amit and this is part 37 of ASP.NET Core MVC tutorial. In this video, we will talk about what are anchor tag helper attributes in .NET Core MVC. This is continuation to part 36, anchor tag helper in .NET Core MVC. So please watch it before proceeding to this one. I shared the link in the description. In our last video, we covered ASP-controller and ASP-action attributes. Let's cover the rest of the attributes mentioned on the Microsoft site. Next attribute is ASP-route-value. So the ASP-route-value attributes enables a wildcard route prefix. Any value occupying, this value placeholder, this is a placeholder, is interpreted as a potential, focus on the word potential route parameter. If a default route isn't found, this route prefix is appended to the generated href attribute as a request parameter and value. Otherwise, it is substituted in the route template. Let's play with these attributes in our index view and employee controller. Let's go to Visual Studio. And let's create another method and name it test method within employee controller. This method accepts a parameter of type string and the parameter name is id. It will return delete view to make it simple because we have nothing in our delete view. Now within our view, create anchor element in place of employee ID. So anchor tag element asp-controller is equal to employee, and then we need to specify action. So asp-action is equal to test method, and within anchor element add item.id. Simple. Now in its click, I want to pass the ID as well. So Microsoft makes it really simple and readable. And I believe readability is more significant than just simplicity in this case. So we have to write asp-route-id and is equal to at item.id. Done. Place a breakpoint and run the program. Click on any link and it will take you to breakpoint. You can see we are getting required values. Press F5. Look at the URL. Value of ID is appended after the slash. Pay attention, it is after the slash. Now let's say instead of ID, I have to pass my ID as a parameter. Just change the name. So stop the application and within controller, change ID to my ID. And then within view, change it to my ID and let's run the program. Click on any link, press F5, and here you can see it is passing it as a query string. Can you guess why previously this value, which is employee ID value, appended after slash, and now it is sending it as a query string? Let's get back to startup.cs class. It's because of our routing. Our routes expect ID as an optional parameter. That's why. Because our ID place was matched, the generated HTML uses slash at the end. All right. Next is, what if there are more than one parameter our action method have? Let's add another parameter in our action and let's say string name. Now within our view, add another asp-route-name, and which is equal to at item.name. And that's it. Run the program. Click on any link. It will take you to breakpoint, and here you can see we are getting both the values. Press F5 and check the URL. We are getting both the values as a query string. All right, simple, extremely simple. For now, we only have couple of parameters, but what if there are many parameters? Say, same method, expect 5 parameters. Then adding 5 asp-route-value in our view is easy, but it doesn't look nice. So to simplify sending multiple parameters, Microsoft provide another attribute called asp-all-route-data. Let's read the definition first. Let's get back to our slide. As per definition, the asp-all-route-data attribute supports the creation of a dictionary of key value pairs. The key is the parameter name and the value is the parameter value. So in simple term, instead of creating multiple asp-route value attribute, just create a dictionary for your parameter and send it with the help of asp-all-route-data. Let's see that. Now, because we need to send the ID and name to each link we are generating, let's create a dictionary within the loop. So where params is equal to new dictionary of type string, comma string. Make sure it is of type string, comma string. And curly braces open, then define first parameter as my ID, comma, item.id.toString. And the second parameter will be name. And its value will be item.name. That's it. Next, delete route value for my ID and name. And simply add asp-all-route-data attribute and assign variable or dictionary created by us, which is params, parameters. And let's run the program. Click on any link and it will take us to breakpoint. And you can see we are getting correct ID and name value. All right, press F5 and observe the URL. Same as what we had created with asp-route value attribute. Simple, extremely simple. With both these techniques, we can pass values to the controller easily. Let's move on to our slide. And the next attribute is asp-route. So what can we send with this attribute? So this attribute is not there to send any value. If you observe with previous two attributes, what value is associated with both of them. But this one, it's just a route. So this means this attribute is meant for routing purpose. Let's read the definition first. The asp-route attribute is used for creating a URL linking directly to a named route. Let's understand what URL linking and named route means here. Another important note is if ASP controller or ASP action is specified in addition to ASP route, the route generated may not be what you expect. To avoid a route conflict, ASP route should not be used with the ASP controller and ASP action attribute. Simple, either use ASP route or use ASP controller or ASP action. Let's get back to Visual Studio and go to our test method. Just like we have attributes for our tag helpers, we have attributes for our controller and action method also. Let's use one of the attributes called route. Just in case you are new to attribute routing, I would strongly recommend you to watch part 19 of this video series. So when you type route within square bracket, open the bracket and you can see the first parameter is template. And there is another option to specify property, which is name. So we will going to use this property. Let's use the default template for now. Within square bracket, double quotes and controller slash action. Next, specify the name for this route. What does that mean? It means instead of following URL routes, if we specify the name of the route, our .NET Core application internally manages to route it to correct controller action method. The only thing which we need to make sure of is that this name should be unique. Try this thing by yourself. Let me specify test here. Now go to our view, delete ASP action and controller attribute, because as I described in my slide that we should not use these attributes with routes. Next, specify asp-route and its value is test. That's it. Run the program. Click on any link and you can see we are getting the required details. Press F5 and in the URL you can see there is no change. It is still the same as per our routes defined. Simple? Extremely simple. Let's move on to our slide. Next is asp-fragment. As per definition, the asp-fragment attribute defines a URL fragment to append to the URL. There is nothing new in the UI world. We use an anchor tag to route from one page to another. Not every time, but it is its main purpose, right? So with the help of this attribute, we add some additional value after the hash. Simple. To make the demo interesting, let's add some dummy data in delete employee view. Let's create a div. Within div, define the actual element and let's say message from delete employee. Break line for BR for breaking the line. Copy and paste this line multiple times to make our page look bigger or say contains lots of content. Alright. Create another div and let's say ID is equal to my fragment div. And give some style, say style is equal to color :red. Then another h1 and say my fragment div. Copy multiple times. So when we are clicking on this link, we are already redirected to our index page. Let's see that. First, remove the breakpoint and let's run the program. Click on any link and you can see we are redirected to delete employee page. Now we want, when we came to this page, it automatically moves to our below div at our my fragment div. All right, let's see that. Just add asp-fragment is equal to my fragment div within our anchor element. Save and refresh the page. Click on the link and see moving to our div element. This is nothing new to UI developers, just doing it with the help of tag helpers attribute. Let's see this without tag helpers. Let's create another anchor element side by side to our existing anchor element. So ahref is equal to /employee /delete employee and then just append hash my fragment div, which is the ID of our div. and let the message be without anchor tag helper. Save and click on Home to get back to our index view. Click on the newly created link and see working as expected. Simple, extremely simple. Let's get back to our slide, and the last attribute is asp-area. We'll discuss this in our next video. Alright then, that's it in this video. If you have any queries related to the content of this video, do ask me in comments. Till then, thanks for watching.